Hey guys, Cory Means Business. Want to dig in with you guys a little bit on this whole Elon Musk versus Make America Great Again influencer spat that's been going on. It's made mainstream media news. If you haven't heard about it, a little background story on it is Make America Great Again movement influencers are upset about the number of H1B visas. These are visas issued to American companies to allow foreign workers to come work for American companies, even if working remotely in their home country or traveling here to work here in the United States. The thought is from the MAGA influencers is that we don't need foreign workers. We should be prioritizing American workers and using these visas. It's just a cheap way for the companies to be able to get foreign workers who will work cheaper than American workers, and American workers are getting screwed over. So that's the summation of their argument. The argument that companies and Elon Musk are making is there's not enough tech workers in the United States, not enough high-level PhD, master degree people in the scientific tech field, medical field to be able to fill all the positions. So let's take a look at who's right, who's wrong. Is the truth somewhere in the middle? So looking at the whole STEM landscape. First of all, we all know that there is a tech surge, particularly in AI. Okay, AI is going bananas, and predictions over the next 5, 10, 15 years is going to be that AI is going to be revolutionary. It's going to be used everywhere, going to take over every industry, etc. Looking at it from that aspect of it, yes, we are going to have a lot more STEM/tech positions opening up in the United States that need to be filled. Okay, so is there going to be a greater need for these STEM positions? Absolutely, there is. Okay, and we can take a look at that, looking at it, from a lack of STEM. So we use Google AI to take a look at this, and we can see, and of course, I'll put a link for the article in the video in case you can't see it clearly here. Google basically says the United States has a STEM workforce shortage in some areas being tech, other areas being the medical field, but there are some, that are just fine in some of the other sectors, academia, etc. We have plenty of college professors. So that being said, it's a yes and no as far as we have a shortage. But this is a two-tier problem. The second problem in this two-tier problem is we have a massive amount of the boomer generation. And if you're not familiar with the boomer generation of people born in the United States post-World War II, we're talking 1946 through about the mid-1960s, 62, 63-ish, somewhere in that range, is known as the baby boomer generation. And again, because there was conditions favorable to having large families after World War II in the United States. And so we had a huge population boom. There was a lot of immigration coming in, legal immigration coming in after World War II and prior to World War II that also led to this baby boomer generation. The bottom line is the baby boomer generation is the largest generation in the United States by far. Generation X, which is my generation, is smaller. Now we're the next largest, followed by the millennials, which is a little bit smaller than X, and then followed by Gen Z, which is even smaller than the millennials. So you have the boomers, Gen X, millennials, Gen Z. So we're shrinking. It's called a shrinking demographic. And the problem with the shrinking demographic is as workers retire out of the workforce at the top, get to 65, 67, start retiring out, are you having enough native-born people to come into those jobs? Well, you would know, and obviously it'd be very logical with a descending demographic chart and the population getting smaller as it gets younger, that we are going to have a work shortage problem. Of course we are. Now let's take a look at the retirement of the baby boomers. And again, I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'll put it here. Using Google AI again, we can talk about it, and we can see the baby boomers retiring significant numbers. Again, 1946 to 1962 is the boomers. So they're coming up on that 65-year age range. In fact, this year alone, 2024, there's been over 6 million of them that have retired out of the United States workforce. So this is a big deal. And looking since 2020, get this staggering statistic. 29 million boomers have retired out of the U.S. labor market since 2020. This is only 4 or 5 years ago. So again, these are huge numbers. And you're talking about the largest demographic, okay? So as they're retiring out in mass numbers, there isn't enough workers coming up to replace them, let alone to handle the tech boom that is happening. So we have this giant tech boom happening. We have all these baby boomers aging out, okay, and not enough millennials, Gen Zs, Gen Xs to fill these roles. So the United States has a labor problem, okay, a labor shortage. It's absolute fact, okay. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not supposed to prioritize Americans first. Of course we are. I believe that. I believe all countries always prioritize their citizens first, of course. But if you need outside workers to come in, then yes, you should bring them in. Now, am I a believer in illegal immigration to get cheap workers? Absolutely not. Okay, you cannot have, a country cannot sustain itself with illegal immigration. It leads to too many problems, too much issues. Do you get some cheap workers out of it? Yes, you do. But it leads to massive problems. The better way, obviously, is something like the H1B visa solution. Now, this is not a perfect solution, and it needs a major overhaul. Okay, Elon Musk has come out now and kind of retracted his position, talking about, does he this was the hill he was going to die on. Anybody that was going to oppose him on this, H1B visa, go F yourselves in the face was his, I think, his direct quote. So again, this is something that he's very, very passionate about, but he's come back the last few days, or last day rather, and he's kind of retracted that and said, look, I get it. It needs to be reformed. There's massive problems with it. And of course, as with all systems, there's massive problems. Of course, it needs to be looked at. But the H1B visa program on the impact on the U.S. economy, again, I'll put this a link in the description in case you want to take a look at the article. But this is coming from the American Immigration Council, and it talks about, that it has a huge impact on the U.S. economy, both good and bad. So again, looking at it from those perspectives, yes, the argument can be made both ways. Should American workers be prioritized? Absolutely. But do we have a labor shortage? Do we need to reach out to foreign-born workers? Absolutely, that is both true. Now, what to do in both, when both is true, what is the solution? Well, the solution that I'm looking at, that a lot of my clients are looking at, is that you have to have something where, yes, we're going to seek foreign-born workers, but they're going to have to be vetted, and they're going to have to be hired legally, and we have to get them fair compensation. One of the knocks on the H-1B visa is that the workers aren't paid what American workers would be paid. And I don't think that should be the case. I think they should be paid equally, equal pay for the job. The job is what the job is. Anybody that's going to do the job and can do the job well should get compensated based upon that, not based upon any other factor. That's just my opinion, but that's the way I feel about it. So this isn't going anywhere. We are going to need foreign-born workers. If you're a foreign-born worker, please put your comment in the comment section below. I'd like to know your thoughts on it. If you're an American citizen and you're worried about foreign workers perhaps taking opportunities from you, put your comment in there as well. Let's get the discussion going, guys. I really want to see what you think about all this. But again, looking at it from my perspective, there's a happy medium. We need to look out for American workers first and foremost, but we also need those foreign workers to come in and really help out. So I hope that's given you a little bit different perspective. I think Elon Musk is going to come around and admit a lot of those things. And I think that the MAGA movement is also going to come along and admit that, yes, we need foreign workers, and to think otherwise is just silliness. Because I would really like to see both sides get together, solve problems. That's what's been missing from our society, both in the United States and I think in a lot of places around the world, a lack of problem solving. We have to stop using ideology-based solutions or ideology-based arguments to create this divide. We have to say, look, there are always arguments and counter arguments to both sides. We need to come together and create solutions. If we do that, I think we're going to be much better off. I really do believe it, people. The best is yet to come. So I hope that helped you out. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys on the next one.